But I've always been able to break out of it and instead think, all right, when I get up, it's work time. It's go time. When everyone else is sleeping in because they're working from home, when everyone else is not grinding as hard as they used to, when everyone's getting into self-preservation mode and trying not to spend as much, which is important, not to spend as much, and trying to get into just saving everything. I say now is the time to put the pedal down. Now is the time for you to invest in your personal brand and learn something new. Guys, that's my call to you. My call to you is to experiment on your life, to experiment now. You're not gonna miss the hard work that you did during this period 5 years from now. You're not even gonna remember it. But what you are gonna have is tangible output. You're gonna have not only potentially tangible output, but personal improvement that you can take for a lifetime. Like, what's up, internet friends, founders, and the Entre-Pro Curious? You've made it, and you're here. It's MVR Daily, getting you ready for the mobile-first, video-first, remote work world of the future. Guys, I came across an article today that I think is important for everyone to remember out there, especially if you are a grinder, if you're a founder, you're a hustler, or you're someone trying to create a personal brand. It's an article by Janet Bayless. The article's title is called Brand Marketing Through the Coronavirus Crisis. Now, I hesitate a little bit there on the word crisis because I don't want to bring up any anxiety or any negative feelings of any negative juju from my audience out there, because I don't want to overstate, and I don't want to make things more anxiety inducing than they need to be. We're in a state of flux. We're in a state where the world is changing, and whether you want to, and it really depends on if you want to look at the world changing as a negative thing or a positive thing. I choose, and this is for you guys, hopefully encouragement for everyone out there today, is I choose to look on the positive side. I choose to look at what I can control and what I can do to make my life better, to keep moving forward, to keep putting my head down and putting in a good day's worth of work. I'll tell you, for example, yesterday was it was just a ridiculously productive day. Now, that might make some of you guys feel salty because you don't feel as productive maybe as you should be, but holy cow. I knocked out 3 videos yesterday, and none of these videos have to do anything with MVR or mobile video remote daily. This is all part of my stealth startup of sorts. But I got 3 of those done yesterday. I got a lot of writing done. I got a lot of content done in terms of writing done. It was just a super productive day. And by the end of the day, at like 10 o'clock, I was like, man, holy cow. Like, where did the day go? Where did it go? And there were even moments around like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon where I was so tired, wanted to take a nap, but I grinded right through it, kept going. Guys, I get excited. So during this time, and this is what I'm encouraging everyone out there, all of my small listener base, to think about, is how can you invest in yourself? How can you grow yourself during this period when everyone else is on pause, when the world is trying to figure out what they need to do and what they need to figure out? You can figure out. You don't have to wait for other people. Drinking my healthy celery juice, guys, every morning. A whole glass of fresh squeezed, pressed, juiced celery juice goes a long way, guys. But I mean, you don't have to wait for the world. You can build your own. And that's why I say, guys, check out evo.af right there. Check out evo.af. It's our community where I'm dropping links every day. News bits every day, tons, over 20 news bits every day that can help you grow your brand, help you can grow your personal brand, grow your own marketing, and learn how to differentiate yourself in a mobile, video, and remote work world of the future. So make sure you check us out on Evo. evo.af. Check out my new book, by the way. I'm super excited about it. Published my new book. I've gotten some great reviews on it so far from people who've enjoyed it, and I hope it's helpful for you guys. So let's get into today's news bit. Brand marketing through the coronavirus crisis. Now, I would even go farther. It's an opportunity to have brand marketing through any type of crisis by doing the right thing, by speaking the right language. Let's get into it, guys. It's MVR Daily. Brand marketing through the coronavirus crisis, or any crisis for that matter. This is by Janet Bayless. In times of crisis, it may be hard for marketers to know where to begin. In just a few short weeks, people have shifted into protection mode, focused on themselves, their families, their employees, their customers, and their communities. Social media reflects this, with pleas for fellow citizens to follow government safety guidelines and have the government tell us to not go anywhere, which is really interesting if you think about it. People have crossed partisan lines to build bridges within their neighborhoods and communities and unify against an invisible force. With social media distancing keeping many people at home, we're also seeing major shifts in behavioral trends. Consumers are returning to broadcast and cable television and other premium media sources for credible information. Actually, I'm going to go... No, you're not going to find credible information on generally premium media, mainstream media. That's actually, if you're woke, mainstream media is probably the worst place to get any type of information on anything. They are also seeking more in way of escapism and entertainment. That's true too. Downloading gaming apps, spending more time on social media, and streaming more movies and scripted programming. Not this guy though, not me. I'm spending actually less time on Netflix, less time on the boob tube, and more time writing books, writing content, blog entries, creating content on video, and expanding my reach. That's what I'm doing, guys. For everyone out there, if you didn't know, this is why I'm delivering every day. This is why I'm waking up every day, because this is the time to do even more work. It sounds weird, but this is the time. You know, my clients have tapered off a little bit. They're asking for less in-person work and more remote work, but the remote work is becoming a little sparse here and there, is what it is, right? And so now's the time to invest in myself, to keep grinding, to keep having a ridiculously crazy work ethic so that I can come out on top of this. That's what I'm encouraging you guys to do. Stop spending all this time on streaming movies and scripted programming. And between remote working arrangements and live-streamed workout classes, college lectures, and social engagements, we are testing the bandwidth of our homes in a largely pre-5G world, which 5G is getting rolled out as we speak, while everyone else is at home. Maybe that's one of those.
Nope.
Meanwhile, the need for physical goods is placing pressure on new channels, with demand for e-commerce rising to new levels. For those who do venture out, grocery and convenience stores are the source for essentials, but supply is inconsistent. Health and safety concerns are driving more customers towards frictionless payment systems like that Bisbee Bitcoin, such as using mobile phones to pay at checkout without touching the surface or stylus. Some of these behavior changes may be temporary, but many may be more permanent. It's going to be interesting to see which ones are. As people move beyond the current mode of survival, the momentum behind digital experience adoption is unlikely to reverse as people are forced by circumstance to try new things. Exactly. Now is the time to try new things. Learn how to juggle. That's what I'm having my kids do right now. They're learning how to juggle. These small things add up. I'm telling you. With so much changing so fast during this difficult time, what actions can brands take to serve and grow their customer base, mitigate risk, and take care of their people? Well, number one, by this author says, present with empathy and transparency. People feel vulnerable right now. Empathy is critical. Many banks, for example, have moved to waive overdraft fees, recognizing the hardship on their customers. SAP has made its Quadrillix remote work Pulse platform free to companies who might be rapidly transitioning to new ways of working. Such instances show humility in the face of a force larger than all of us. Is that the force of COVID, or is that the force of mainstream media trying to scare us? The nuances of brand voice are more delicate than ever. Brands that use this time to be commercially exploitive will not fare well. Better to do as Guinness did in the period of surrounding St. Patrick's Day, when the company shifted its focus away from celebrations and pub gatherings and instead leaned into a message of longevity and well-being. In these moments, we don't have all the answers, and we need to acknowledge that. If you make pledges, even during uncertain times, you'll have to be able to deliver on what you say. Well, I think I'm doing my best job, trying to be as transparent as I usually am to my audience, and just telling you guys that I'm excited. I'm energized by everything that's going on, because it's an opportunity for me to grow even more, to do even more, to grind even more. I was talking with my wife about this the other day, and I was talking about how hard I'm working during this time, and that I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to be regretful that I worked hard, because frankly, at the end of the day, I'm going to forget that I worked that hard anyway. It's just water under the bridge. And what I will have is I will have something to show for it. I'll have output. I'll have something new. This stealth startup I'm working on, guys. You got to keep building. So what is number 2? Let's check it out. Use media in more agile ways. Well, I'm an agilist. I'm a certified Scrum trainer. You guys can get training from me, but that's right. Use agile, guys. To quickly pivot, creative messages and circumstances change. Marketers will want to build more rapid response operating models internally with more agencies. And access to remote production and creative capacity will become particularly important as the crisis evolves. Nike, for example, immediately moved to adopt a new message: play inside, play for the world. And in order to promote social distancing and show a commitment to public safety, Chiquita brands moved Miss Chiquita from their logo. I'm already home. Please do yourself the same and protect yourself. Its Instagram caption read. Oh, well, that's pretty cute, I guess. Beyond creative, as the mix of actual media platforms used by consumers change quickly, marketers should consider modifying their media mix. For example, with digital entertainment spiking, marketers may want to amplify their use of ad-supported premium video streaming and mobile gaming. Similarly, as news consumption peaks while consumers jostle to stay informed, brands should not fear that adjacency, given the level of engagement and relevance. News may simply be the environment that requires more careful monitoring of how frequently ads appear to avoid creative being overexposed, which can damage brand equity. Well, it's a good thing that I've removed pretty much every single ad from all of these shows. I used to have ads up, and you know what? I decided to go ad-free, so you guys can thank me for that. Yay! Go ad-free, guys. So, number 3, what can you do in a time of crisis with your brand? Associate your brand with good. I'm hoping that my brand is part of being good and helping and giving out. People remember brands for the acts of good in a time of crisis, particularly if done with true heart and generosity. This could take the form of donating to food banks, providing free products for media, medical personnel, or continuing to pay employees while the company's doors are closed. Adobe, for example, immediately made Creative Cloud available to K-12 institutions, knowing this was a moment to give rather than purely commercial. Consumers will likely remember how Ford, GE, and 3M partnered to repurpose manufacturing capacity and put people back to work to make respirators and ventilators to fight coronavirus. And people appreciate that many adult beverage companies, from Diego to AB InBev, repurpose their I've never even heard of these guys, I don't drink that much, repurpose their alcohol manufacturing capabilities to make hand sanitizers, alleviating short supplies with their "it's in our hands to make a difference" message. Feel-good content that alleviates anxiety and promotes positive messaging will go a long way to enhance your brand. However, companies need to show that their contributions are material and not solely for commercial benefit. Customers recognize authenticity and true purpose. Well, I don't know if I think I have that, authenticity and true purpose, but I've been delivering content to the web for over 15 years. For the last 3+ years, pretty much daily, consistently, every day. So I don't know if that takes anything away from my true purpose, but I'm always here. I'm always here to grow. I'm always here to share my life with you guys. And I'd love, again, just because I got to remind you guys, to join evo.af if you haven't yet, guys. Join us in our small community where we are hanging out, to survive this crisis, guys. Number 4, track trends and build scenarios. Frequent tracking of human behavioral trends will help marketers gain better insights in real time, especially, well, I guess if you have enough data, that is. Marketers will want to measure sentiment and consumption trends on a regular basis to better adapt messaging, closely observing the conversation across social media platforms, community sites, and e-commerce product pages to look for opportunities and identify looming crises more quickly. Companies should consider quickly building dashboards for this kind of data to fuel the right decisions. Marketers also want to consider building deeper connections with their C-suite colleagues to provide insights to executives who increasingly will be involved in marketing choices. The marketing team, if you have one, should work closely with finance and operations to forecast different scenarios and potential outcomes, depending on how long the crisis lasts. That does make me wonder in terms of if you have a marketing team, whether you're laying them off, probably not a good thing to talk about, or how you're faring with everyone being at home. How do you put marketing campaigns together if you're at home? How do you collaborate? I guess the same way everyone else does, through Zoom or I guess Microsoft Teams, if Zoom is not your thing. Number 5, adapting to new ways of working to keep delivering. You got to keep delivering. That's the key. Actually, that's the entire thrust of why I deliver every day, to be an example to you guys, to deliver every day. It's encouraging how quickly many companies were able to transition to remote working arrangements. Yes, deploying collaboration technologies can seamlessly provide chat, file sharing, meeting, and call capabilities, enabling teams to stay connected and remain productive. Already, virtual happy hours are emerging as new normal to build team morale, though I sometimes question whether those are actually working. Because I've done lots of like 8-day training sessions. Man, it gets tiring real quick. Partners are pitching remotely, recognizing that in-face sales calls is unlikely to transpire for weeks to come. Leaders have to do their best to transition each element for the operating model, from marketing to sales to service to this new normal. New sources of innovation and even margin improvement will emerge out of our current discomfort. How we can plan for the next and beyond? Well, how do you plan? You keep executing. We are in the acknowledge and adapt phase of the COVID-19 pandemic, but we also have to plan for life beyond the crisis. As we navigate what we know, marketing leaders must work externally to keep their brands and customer journeys as whole as possible, while working internally to do 3 things. Number 1, understand the impact of business interruption and continue to triage the unexpected. Number 2, lean in to digital ways of doing work. That's right. Lean into learning how to do new things using digital, guys, knowing that this will likely have lasting effects. Number 3, mitigate risks to the customer experience by thinking realistically from the outside in. Unquestionably, there is a forced acceleration of digital transformation agenda as we recognize how quickly customers and employees have embraced digitally enabled journeys and experiences. Brands are having to think, operate, and lead in new ways during this uncertain and unprecedented circumstances, and we will have to learn together with both confidence and humility. And that right there, guys, is your news bit article from MVR Daily. What brands need to do when it comes to marketing. And I'll tell you guys, the last section here that it was talking about is pretty much been my call out to you guys. Be encouraged. This is the time to grind. This is the time to work. This is the time to build on yourself. This is the time to create something new. This is the time to experiment. This is the time to use your time to work harder than you've ever worked before. I know it seems weird. To think of this. And I think that the natural tendency is to move inward and to think inward, to think self-preservation mode. Okay, it's me. I got furloughed, or I got laid off, or my work got cut down to 3 days out of 5, and I'm not earning as much, or my clients have stopped calling. Like it's self-preservation. It's easy to move into self-preservation mode. And certainly there have been moments during this moment of COVID and Corona, that I've thought that way too. But I've always been able to break out of it and instead think, all right, when I get up, it's work time. It's go time. When everyone else is sleeping in because they're working from home, when everyone else is not grinding as hard as they used to, when everyone's getting into self-preservation mode and trying not to spend as much, which is important, not to spend as much, and trying to get into just saving everything. I say now is the time to put the pedal down. Now is the time for you to invest in your personal brand and learn something new. Guys, that's my call to you. My call to you is to experiment on your life, to experiment now. You're not gonna miss the hard work that you did during this period 5 years from now. You're not even gonna remember it. But what you are gonna have is tangible output. You're gonna have not only potentially tangible output, but personal improvement that you can take for a lifetime. Like, I don't know how much better I can say it, guys. Anyway, on this Tuesday, I want to be encouraging, guys. Stay positive. Keep your heads up. Let me know how I can help. Hit me up on evo.af. You can always DM me and connect with me. Let me know how you're doing, guys. I'd love to have the conversation, which, by the way, I recently made improved evo.af, and it's a lot faster now. Thank you, Jesus, for going a lot faster. So the system works a lot faster. I'm hoping that I'll see you guys there, and I'll see you guys next time, guys.